What's up guys, this is Bryce with Dust Runners Automotive Journal, and today we're going to talk about why the Chevy LS engine family is so awesome. The Chevy LS was first debuted in the 1997 Chevy C5 Corvette. GM called it the Gen 3 small block, now known as the LS1. The LS1 is a 5.7 liter engine and it features an all aluminum design. It also features coil near plug ignition and various other new engine management features. These new features made it vastly greater than the previous generation small block. In 1998, the LS1 replaced the LT1 found in Camaros and Firebirds. Chevrolet then began producing iron block Gen 3 small blocks, which came in pickups and SUVs. Chevrolet later produced the Gen 3 small block, which featured MPG boosting cylinder deactivation. The Gen 4 also featured larger displacements compared to the Gen 3 and a re-engineered camshaft sensing system. These were all great improvements to the LS engine family, making it a world-class engine. The Gen 4 family includes the LS2, LS3, supercharged LS9, supercharged LSA, and the LS7. One of the many reasons the Chevy LS is so good is its strength. After all, what would a good engine be without a solid foundation? Chevrolet designed the Gen 3 LS block as a Y block. This Y block design helps increase rigidity in the main cap area by using 6 bolt main caps on the crankshaft. 4 bolts are facing vertically and 2 bolts horizontally that clamp the block wall to the main cap. This is what GM engineers call snap-fit cross-bolting. This design provides great crankshaft and block rigidity. Previous small block Chevy engines did not use this design. Chevrolet took it a step further by not just designing an incredibly strong bottom end, but also a very strong top end. Chevy designed the block to take extra long head bolts that thread deep into the block. This minimizes cylinder bore distortion and variation in the head bolt torque spec. Chevy also raised the camshaft up and further away from the crank, which allows them to clear a 4-inch stroke crankshaft. Chevy used a 4-inch stroke crank to achieve the 7-liter displacement of the LS7. To further increase the strength on top of the engine block, they used a valley plate. The valley plate is a large plate of metal that covers the valley where the lifters reside. This increases the strength of the block by bolting each side of itself onto one metal plate. The pistons are the weakest point in the LS engine. They're pretty strong, but once you start getting into serious performance, they are the first component to fail. All of this combined made the LS stronger and smaller than any other GM small block before it. Since the Chevy LS was put into so many cars and trucks, there are tons of them laying around. This has helped keep prices fairly low, and with the rising popularity of LS swaps, the prices dropped even further. You can literally walk into almost any junkyard in America and find an LS engine within a few minutes. A great example would be the world-famous Beater Bomb, which is the true meaning of ballin' on a budget. The Beater Bomb is a world-famous street racing Fox body Mustang. He has blown up a few LS engines from spraying a ton of nitrous. Luckily, all he has to do is walk into a junkyard with a couple $100s to get a new LS engine. Another great thing about the LS engine is how many different displacement options there are. Chevy trucks came with either a 4.8, 5.3, or 6-liter engine. Newer Chevy trucks have the option for a 6.2-liter engine. Car engines came in 5.3, 5.7, 6-liter, 6.2-liter, and 7-liter sizes. Some were even configured for front-wheel drive cars. The rise of stroker kits has also increased the number of displacement options. The LS7 can be pretty expensive, but you can always buy a 427 stroker kit for your LS3. If you count Chevy Performance LSX engines, then the biggest available LS engine would be the LSX 454. The cheapest of the LS engine family is the 5.3-liter truck engine that came in most trucks and SUVs that Chevrolet has produced. All of these engines have been pushed past 1,000 horsepower by racers and have done so fairly reliably. As you can imagine, the aftermarket for the Chevy LS has exploded since its massive rise, from just basic bolt-ons like an intake and exhaust all the way up to race-spec cylinder heads and turbo kits. The most common modification being a high-performance camshaft, which is the best bang-for-buck upgrade you can do on the LS engine. The rise in popularity of LS engines has also helped mold some of the world's best engine builders into LS masters. Companies like Nelson Racing Engines have become extremely popular due to their knowledge of the LS engine. These companies really know how to get the best bang for buck out of them. From mild builds to high horsepower street cars to full race cars, companies like Nelson Racing Engines can build one incredible little LS engine for your application. Chevy has also jumped into the aftermarket game with its own engine. Chevrolet Performance produces the LSX, the holy grail of Chevy LS engines, the most powerful being the LSX 454R crate engine, which produces around 770 horsepower and 620 foot-pounds of torque. Chevrolet Performance also produces high-strength blocks as well as many other components to hop up your LS engine. The Aftermarket also makes tons of swap kits, making it a breeze to swap an LS engine into basically any automobile you want. Chevy really knew what they were doing when they designed LS engines. The factory heads flow nearly as good as NASCAR heads did at the time, which is around 300 CFM. They achieved this by using modern computer technology to test different port lengths and designs to find the best performing head design. You may be surprised by how port shape, size, and length can affect torque and horsepower ratings. Chevrolet also designed the intake manifold using similar technology. They aimed for the LS engine to produce usable power really low in the RPMs and decent power up high. They also made the cam core massive, which means you can easily fit a 600 plus lift cam and it won't be that harsh on your motor. All Chevy LS engines are known to respond to modifications really well. Even an intake and exhaust will gain a substantial amount of horsepower. The typical head cam swap is known for gaining well over 100 horsepower. Some people even leave the stock heads on and just have them worked over. Combined with a big cam, many LS engines are making over 440 rear wheel horsepower. The LS engine family is known for having smaller proportions than its competitors' engines, making it much easier to swap into cars with small engine bays like the Mazda Miata. The main reason they're such a compact engine is because of their old school pushrod design, as well as all of the modern technologies they used when designing the engine block. The pushrod designs that they continue to use is almost unlike any other modern engine which have overhead cams. You can achieve better performance and economy with an overhead cam, but at the cost of a much larger and heavier engine. Thanks to the all-aluminum design, a fully dressed LS1 is nearly as light as a cast iron 4-cylinder. For example, a stock 1995 Nissan 240SX with a full tank of fuel weighs around 2,900 pounds. The same car under the same circumstances with an LS1 swap weighs in around 2,950 pounds. That's a gain of around 50 pounds, which is pretty much nothing when you consider you're going to be gaining hundreds of foot-pounds of torque and horsepower. Here's the bottom line. The LS is cheap, light, compact, and makes a ton of horsepower. It can fit into nearly anything you want, and it can be done on a tight budget. From the average Joe to a professional racer, the LS engine is perfect for nearly anything. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you like this video and let us know in the comments what we should talk about in our next video. This is Bryce with Dust Runners Automotive Journal, signing off.